Trails Collective, Ian here for the weekly rundown of the Northeast Trail Running World for the week ending October 8th, 2021. It's been another busy week on the Northeast Trail Running circuit. Beautiful fall, despite the continued rain. At least trails around here are still in pretty decent shape. Though I haven't been seeing a lot of them, but it is a beautiful fall nonetheless. So hopefully you're all getting out there for adventures, if not some events. So we will cover some media that hit my radar, ultrasound up hot list of events that are about to cap out, just to give you the heads up if you need to register now. We will cover some of the FKTs in the Northeast of the week, some results from this past weekend, rolling in a handful of voices from events, and then what events are coming up or on deck this coming week. So let's get into it. Actually, something I'll start again. I haven't been able to do much trails, as I mentioned before. I'm coaching this fall cross-country team, and we're just not doing much trails. So my product reviews and trail work has come to a relative standstill. I did get in some opening miles a week or so ago in the Innovate Max model here. I am excited to get some more miles in him so I can do a review, but only one opening run. And then another one that arrived is the Speedland Carbonite X or something to that effect. Actually, I don't even know what the appropriate name is at the moment. SLPDX. In any case, pretty excited to check this one out as well. For those of you who have Speedland, whose Speedland has not hit your radar, maybe on like paid social media ads or your feed ads or something like that. New startup brand. Way overpriced and expensive, but maybe that's just what it costs to build, design, produce a startup shoe with some pretty cool features, pretty cool properties, pretty cool materials, and just a really small, I imagine, low production set, especially during the time of COVID. So ridiculously expensive. I don't know where this goes, but I'm excited to try it. So hopefully over this next probably 4 or 6 weeks, I can put in a couple runs and weigh in. And cue you into the Speedland. All right, media. Something that a friend Corey West, thank you, gave me the cue on today, as I didn't get a chance to see what episode had dropped, is the Gunks Runner. It's Phil Vondra and Jay Friedman. Pain Cave episode number 5. It is titled 20 Questions with Matt Flaherty. I've not yet listened to the episode, but I'm excited to do so. I've known Matt for quite a while. I recruited him early on to run one of, it might have been even the first year of the Cayuga Trails 50, and he returned for several years, and we just stayed in touch. Wonderful individual, and he ran his first 100 mile with Leadville just a couple months ago, and had a really incredible run out there, finishing second overall. Second in 16:59 to Adrian McDonald. But in any case, great run, and I'm excited to listen to the episode. All right, so let's get into the hot list. We have a handful of events that our registrations are now open, but are going to soon close out, in case any of you are interested. Notchview Ultra, it's a 72-hour, or rather the 72-hour distance in the mix. Slated for July 8th in Windsor, Mass. is 97% full with one spot remaining. The other distances, and I forget what they are in safe territory. In Maryland, the Patapsco Valley 50K, it's one I really enjoyed running a couple years ago or a few years ago. Slated for October 30th, outside of Baltimore, showing at 100% full. But actually, at the time I'm filming, there were 4 or 5 spots still remaining. So get on that. It's a pretty mild, flowy course, nice community, and a great resource outside of Baltimore. So check that out. Also in Maryland, the Western Maryland Rail Trail 10K, half marathon and marathons, running October 17th in Hancock, Maryland, are up another 3% this week to being 97% full. So there's a good chance they'll cap by this weekend. In New York, Clark 6-Hour Classic, scheduled to run October 23rd in Jamesville, New York, is on the warning track at 90% full. And in Vermont, the Trap Lodge Mountain Marathon, half and full marathon distances slated for October 16th, coming right up, in Stowe, Vermont, are 90% full. At the time of filming, I think between the two distances, there's maybe like 43 slots still remaining. So get on that. I imagine that would be a beautiful course in a beautiful time of year. So check that out. And in Virginia, the Gritty Leaks Trail Marathon, running November 6th in Goochland, Virginia, is on the track at 90% full. All right, some FKTs of this past week or so. In Maine, Leslie Odell, 1 hour 59 minutes for the Miles Knob Loop, a 9.3 mile loop in the White Mountains of Maine. Leslie shaves off over 18 minutes from the prior women's unsupported mark from September of this year. In New York, Bethany Gerritsen and Mackenzie Haskins, 6 hours 8 minutes for the French Louis Loop, 22.6 mile circuit through the West Canada Lake Wilderness of the Adirondacks, gaining over 7,000 feet en route. And this is an opening unsupported women's mark. And in Pennsylvania, Stephanie Eland, 44 minutes, 51 seconds for the Springfield Trail. It's a 4.5 mile loop west of Philly in the Main Line area. And Stephen took a bit off 4 minutes from the opening mark from April of this year. And then one technically in the Northeast, I'm going to give it to it, up in Canada. A big shout out to a friend, Karen Holland, on setting a new FKT on the Bruce Trail in Ontario. The mark was set on September 3rd, or it's when it was posted, but I'd missed it until now. Karen is a wonderful individual. She's tough, she's fast, and she covered the 895 kilometer or 556 mile point-to-point supported in 8 days, 22 hours. She shaved off over 4 days off the prior mark set in 2017. It's also 5 hours quicker than the men's supported FKT, which is just a really incredible effort. I had imagined, and seeing some of the photos of the Bruce Trail, I think she and I maybe connected on it years ago about the possibility of doing an event there. Just never panned out in that communication or in actuality. But I remember looking at it and just thinking it was a really beautiful route. And the mark is, again, pretty incredible. So Karen, congrats, nice work. That is an incredible effort. All right, getting into some event results, and we'll go state by state. Let's see, we've got, probably got about, well, it was a busy weekend. Let's just get into them. All right, so Connecticut, the Nipmuck Trail Marathon. It is run in Ashford, Connecticut. It's put on by the Shenipsit Striders, and it's one of the oldest and classic trail races in the Northeast. With its inaugural running in 1984, it comes in the top 10, according to my own tally in the article that I have out on the Trails Collective website, which is the Northeast Routes article. Comes in the top 10. I think it's maybe like 7th or 8th. I think they had another, Shenipsit put on another, I think, first-year event starting in 84 as well. 51 finishers, Juan Chacon took the overall win in 3:33, with Brendan Atkins coming in hot second for 3:35. I'd imagine that was tight at some point. And for the women, Chiara Bistarelli took the win in 5:07. All right, in Maine, the Bad Little Trail Run, it is put on by the Bold Coast Runners in Northfield, Maine, along the Machias River. The course uses predominant. Actually, was from their site, and it sounds beautiful. The course uses a predominant single track under giant hemlocks through grassy swales, over rocks and roots, bog bridges, some wet holes, and across a beaver dam. They run to raise awareness for the protection of the Down East Coastal Conservancy's work to protect Maine's wild places. Sounds like a pretty sweet community event. Of 25 finishers in the 2.5 mile Cedar Lanky Beef Tink. That's right. Age 12, took the overall win in 30 minutes. That name is right up there with the best that I think I've announced since I've been starting these episodes. And really, I need to go back and make a list of some of the outstanding names. But looking deeper into the finishers, it really doesn't stop there with Cedar Lanky Beef Tink. This event really may take the cake. In the top 10, we also have Walter Longfellow, good classic sounding name, Hope Rankin, Soren Danielson, Taibatu Adamu, and Uncle Jim Floyd. And they're just all in the top 7. Some pretty incredible name line up there. Of 29 in the much less exciting and named 7-miler, Pete Williams and Anna Loom were the overall men's and women's winners. Camden Trail Fest went down using the Camden Snowbowl in Camden, Maine. Offers a 5K run on the mountain, 10K mountain bike, 15K duathlon, and 15K... Actually, there's another event in there. I don't remember what it is, but a typo on my sheet, so I don't know what it is. But there was another one. In the 5K trail event of 33 finishers, Luke Toombs took the overall win in 26:46 with Erica Alshore, for the women in 31:28. New Hampshire, Bubba's Backyard Ultra in North Conway, New Hampshire. I was thankful that they got a clip in last year, but I guess about a year ago when we were doing these episodes. They had 66 participants, a solid trajectory given that they had 19 in their first year of 2019 and 44 in 2020. So pretty good growth in Bubba's Backyard Ultra. It's a last person standing event, and the last person standing was Ed Clifford with 157.5 miles covered. Solid effort. It's a new event record, and the last standing woman on the day was Maya Buckingham with 94.5 miles covered. In New York, the CatsTail Trail Marathon. CatsTail, for those of you who don't know, is a beautiful point-to-point course in the Catskills. It is a final trail and race leg anchoring the Escarpment and Manitou's Revenge courses, which is a pretty sweet trifecta through the Catskills. It offers some fun rock scrambles, beautiful single track, and a descent into a fairly flat finish to push if you've got any legs left. I've only run it once with very limited training and didn't have any legs left. So, well, that was a bit of a, the wheels had fallen off. But it was still a beautiful day out there. This year, of the 90 finishers in a size-limited field, Steve, the quad father, swing, swing. Thanks to coining that term there, Eric Kozek. Lang had a great day. He ran a new course record of 4:13, moving. For the women, the win went to Kirby Mosenthal in 5:25. And taking us deeper into the CatsTail experience, our women's winner, Kirby Mosenthal, as well as multi-year finisher Michael Presti.
Hey there, I'm Kirby. I'm from Westchester County, and just this past weekend I did the CatsTail Trail Marathon up in the Catskills. Heard about the race through some local friends, also kept seeing it on social media. It was actually only my second trail marathon that I've done. I'm usually more of a road runner, dabbled in some other trails, did the breakneck half and figured why not try some more technical races. And the CatsTail Trail Marathon definitely didn't disappoint. It was so well organized. The race directors, Charlie and Mike, were awesome. Very helpful. They sent out a lot of great pre-race emails, which was great for a relative newbie like me to know what to expect. They flagged the course so well. They did a great bag drop at the start, which was key given the cold temperature at the beginning. So huge thanks to them for helping me feel really confident just going into the race, knowing what to expect. But yeah, I got there nice and early that morning. The race started at 7, and they grouped the runners in wave starts every 5 minutes. So my race started at 7:05. It was nice and chilly, about 40 degrees, which was great running weather. And the start goes downhill for a few, maybe 100 feet before it turns right into the trails and starts with about a 2-mile climb. So that was one way to warm up right at the beginning of the race. I started kind of ditching layers after that. But right around mile 2, things started already thinning out, especially because of the wave start. So for most of the race, I was pretty much by myself, which was, in hindsight, great to get into a zone and really just kind of go my own pace and not worrying about catching someone or having the pressure. I just got in the zone, taking in the surroundings. The climb up to Panther Mountain for the first few miles was beautiful, amazing views to the left off the ridge. The fall colors were great, awesome foliage. So I was really just enjoying it. I knew it was early in the race, but still felt great. And then as I was getting to the first aid station, I started seeing these unicorns, and I was thinking, am I not feeling so great? What's going on here? But no, the first aid station crew was awesome. They had all these blow up unicorns all over, which kind of made me laugh, and just I felt good seeing that. And then I got to the main aid station at mile about 9.5. The crew there was awesome. The volunteers were amazing. I've never even had to stop at an aid station. I've never done races long enough to need it. So the fact that they were filling my water and getting anything I needed was really awesome. And after that, right around at mile 10, we hit the climb again, about another 2 miles all the way up to Slide Mountain. And that was probably the most brutal part of the course for me, just that continuous uphill climb followed by some uphill scrambling. It was challenging, but it was also really fun. I'm glad I had my gloves, actually, because not only was it cold, but it was just nice to have that for the rocks. But then we hit the downhill scrambling, a lot of ledges, rock climbing, scrambling kind of down some routes. I got to see some Mountain Peak Fitness people down there who were doing some filming, which is really cool just because I had kind of been by myself for so long. So that was really fun. So shout out to them. And then hit up the later aid station around mile 16 and a half or so. I actually never got GPS at the start of the race in time, so I had no idea what mileage I was at until I would get to an aid station and then kept asking them what mileage it was. And each aid station was so friendly, cheering. Kind of some of them had some cowbells just to let us know where the turns were. So thank you to all the volunteers. So after mile 16 and a half, all the way to the finish, those next 10 miles, it was long. I maybe saw two people that whole time. It was fairly runnable, but a lot of rocks to navigate. It was very kind of quiet, which was nice. At a certain point, I kind of was ready to see the road again, but it was just fun. It just kind of again taking in all the surroundings. At some point, once we started getting lower, this long, steady downhill, some switchbacks going down, some of the leaves had started covering the trail, which made it a little bit tricky at certain points to navigate, but nothing too terrible. But got towards the bottom, hit the road again, hit the last aid station around mile 25, I think it was. We had a stretch of road for a little over a mile, so it was nice to just open up. As a road runner, I was happy to be able to kick it in with some speed at the end. Got to the final line there by the parish hall with a great crew waiting, cheering, more unicorns. So got across the line there, got to right away kind of get these glasses ready. They had beer on hand for anyone who wanted that, great pizza, cookies, things like that. So plenty of food to refuel afterwards. And also a bunch of my friends, actually, I got to give a shout out to some of my Hudson Highlands crew, the Cold Spring and Beacon runners. They actually came out to cheer, and some of them were there at the finish and along the course. They were also some of the people who helped me learn how to fuel and hydrate and actually eat while trail running, unlike road running. But they were out there super supportive. So thank you to that whole crew. You know who you are. Thanks for getting me into trails in the first place. So overall, it was a really great time. I highly recommend this course for anyone who wants some more technical, scrambly kind of trail race. I finished, I think it was about 5 hours, 25 minutes. So I think it was like the right amount of time to have a nice, solid, long run, but not feel like, my legs were falling out from underneath me. But it definitely made me super excited to maybe want to try something longer, like a 50K or above at some point. So thank you to everybody who got me interested. I'm definitely hoping to be back for more.
Hi, this is Michael Presti from the Connecticut Trail Mixers. This past weekend was the 7th running of the CatsTail Trail Marathon held in the Catskills of Eastern New York. If you haven't heard of this race, it's becoming one of the true beasts of Beast Coast running in the Northeast. Quick snapshot of the race. It covers about 6,000 plus feet of elevation gain over oftentimes really rocky and really rooty technical trail. Not much in the way of runnable for the average trail runner on this one. It goes over several of the most well-known mountains in the Catskill Range, including Panther, Giant Ledge, Slide Mountain, Cornell Mountain, and Wittenberg, which is one of the ones that sports one of the best views across the Catskills, assuming you can make it that far to mile 15.5. The race directors are the same dynamic duo who put on Manitou's Revenge, who I'm guessing many of you have heard of before. This is a slice of that same kind of really, really tough technical terrain. I think about 80 people towed the line for the start. We head off in waves of 10 or 12 people each. And it was really a great day to be in the woods. It was sunny, it was clear. The first couple of years this race was held, it was held in rainy and cold and cloudy conditions, but not this year, not in the past few years. So runners who made it to the top had fantastic views of the Catskills all around us, great deep woods running through trails that aren't often used by other people, and it was a real treat. The Connecticut group certainly sent a large group again this year. I want to say there were maybe 10 or 15 of us. It's become one of our favorite destination races across the border. And happy to see that most of us came back in one piece. And we hung out at the finish line at the end, the Parish Hall in downtown Phoenicia, New York. It was just great hanging out, eating pizza, rehydrating through beer and cheering each runner as they came back in and came in under the 10-hour cutoff point. So a fantastic race. If you haven't heard about it, look it up. It's usually held in early October of every year, the CatsTail Trail Marathon. And if you're looking for a tough, all-day, rugged mountain adventure in the woods, this could be just for you. Thanks.
So well done, Kirby and Michael and the crew at CatsTail. I missed my team being out there. It would have been a wonderful weekend, but I had a crazy day on my end on Saturday. So sorry to miss it, but it looked beautiful. And for those of you not already in the know, definitely check out Escarpment. It's I think it's the second or third oldest, I think, trail event in our region, and probably definitely one of the gnarliest in that regard. Truly classic Northeast trail running. Definitely have it on your bucket list if not yet. Manitou's Revenge, also it's 54 milers, very burly, very beautiful, but the three of them absolutely wonderful events. For sure, definitely on Manitou's and CatsTail, I think field sizes are pretty limited, so you got to get on it early, so put them on your radar. Another one, Danby Down and Dirty, 10K, 20K. The Danby Down and Dirty is a wonderful classic trail race outside of here in Ithaca. It's close to me personally, as I held the 10K record since 2007. I think that may be the only time I ran it, but it was a beautiful flowing day out there in terms of the race. And I wanted to give the race more pull, and long finding it high time for my record to be taken down. I tossed out a $500 prize purse this year, a week or two ahead of the event, to anyone who could break my record, and split if multiple people broke my record. And it worked. We had a crew of just fast people up front. I think all of them except all of them, I think, running it for the first time. And so, yeah. And here to take us deeper into the Danby Down and Dirty is first-year entrant and second-place finisher, Matt Lipsey.
Hey there. Welcome to Gobbler's Knob, home of Punxsutawney Phil here in western Pennsylvania. Beautiful, scenic western Pennsylvania. So I'm here to talk about the Danby Down and Dirty 10K, which is just south of Ithaca, in a town called Danby. Go figure. But it was it's a real gem of a trail race. Ian's been talking my ear off about this race for years now. He's been saying, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go. And this year I finally went, and I'm glad I did. I think a lot of people have heard that Ian put a $500 purse on anybody who could break his existing record. And if anybody could beat it, there's a couple people who beat it, he was just gonna split it up. So that kind of sweetened the deal, and it brought out a lot of fast feet. And for me, I haven't raced in a little over a year, not because of COVID or anything like that. I think a lot of people know I had still dealing with CIDP. But here's the thing, I've been running well for the last 2 months. I've been feeling great, and I'm really glad that I'm back on my feet, because last year at this time I was in a chair. I couldn't move, or couldn't barely stand up or hold a fork to eat. So yeah, big turnaround. Really cool that I was able to go out there and experience something like this the way I wanted to. So I figured I'd throw my hat in the ring. Why not? I usually don't get nervous before a race, and because I haven't done it so long, I was like, man, I don't know. I mean, I know we're going to take off hard. We had 1.7 miles of road, and I have not run faster than probably a 5:30 mile down a hill in my runs leading up to this. So I was really satisfied with. I wanted to be up there in the front with the leader. Mason Copey, he probably ran like a 5 flat. I think he would have ran faster. He took the outside of the road, surprised me a little bit instead of taking the most direct line, but it didn't seem to slow him down any, so whatever. And then behind him let me get this name right here real quick. Behind him was Adam Pachek, or I would like to call him Paycheck, but that's not how it's spelled. And he was right on his tail. And then Dan Schermerbin and myself. Then behind us was Reagan McCoy, AJ Beers, and then a couple other people that I'm not sure who they were. But anyways, took off 1.7 miles down this dirt road, real hard. I think I probably ran around a 5:08, which I was really satisfied with how that went, because I didn't even know if I was capable of running and moving my legs that fast again, especially since, last year and where I'm coming from. But I would like to thank a lot of people that helped me out when I needed it. I hope I can always pay it forward as well as they did and offer that hand up whenever, when it's my turn to do so. But, people like Jason Loeb, Run PA, helped me out. Ian here at Trails Collective. Michelle Adams, she basically figured out what was wrong with me, pointed me in the right direction to get me to the right doctors. And there's a lot of other people that we just don't have time to mention. But I can't, say how much that I appreciate it, because it just, meant the world to me to get that support. But regardless, it felt good to be at the race and experience an event like that again the way that I want to. Got into a bit of a dogfight with Dan. We had a few lead changes. We eventually closed the gap on Adam Pacek. I was able to finally kind of snag the second place. Mason Kopi was way out. I think he won it by 3 minutes. And he beat Ian's record by about that time then, 3 minutes, because I believe I broke it by 12 seconds. And Dan squeezed under in 4 seconds. I could be wrong. And then AJ Beers just missed it by, I think, 2 seconds. So 3 of us went under the existing men's record set by Ian Golden in 1980. I'm kidding. It wasn't 1980. But yeah, so it was a proper race. It was there to make you hurt. We went down the road 1.7 miles, immediately climbed a hill, big kick in the face, up on top of this ridge. Second climb took us to the Pinnacle, which is a nice big hill. And then it took us along a ridge, down through some mud, a couple sections of really slick, muddy muck. And I think there were 3 major climbs, 3 major descents, but I thought there was more than that broken up that I recall. But eventually it led you out towards this little Jeep road and through the single track on the Finger Lakes Trail, jumped out on a Jeep road. And as soon as you jumped out on the Jeep road, that was basically the finish. And then Reagan McCoy and I, we managed to convince a lady to pick up a dead snake. Somehow she thought we were kidding. It was a dead snake, and she picked it up. And that was pretty funny. But yeah, it was a proper race. It cost me $15 to do this. There was fast feet. It was good competition. It was a stout course. Amazing. Just super simple. You didn't get a t-shirt. I don't really want a t-shirt. I thought it was great. And for winning your age group, you got a 6-pack of beer. So just about everybody there walked away with a 6-pack of beer from somewhere. They had all kinds of beer laid out for everybody. They had donuts, cider donuts, apple cider, coffee, stuff like that. Real good morning chow, nice and sugary. And then another funny thing that happened was a short bus came barreling out of the Jeep trail it was painted green and had like pot leaves on it. For a second there, I thought it was gonna be Zach Miller, but I saw the pot leaves and I was like, this ain't Zach. Some hippie dude just up this, and it was a Jeep trail, and here comes a school bus, like made for picking up kids, just barreling down this Jeep trail. They had to move the finish line to let him through, and I just remember like sitting there in a chair watching it go by and just being like, wow, what do you know? See something new every day when you go out in the woods, I'll tell you what. Yeah, Danby down and dirty. Real gem of a race. If you haven't done it, make sure you do it.
So Matt, thanks for making the trip up. It is great to see you running again. Even if not top speed yet, you are running hard and well, so hopefully the body holds up. Thanks for that clip. All right, in PA, the Red Barn Challenge, 6-hour, 12-hour, 24-hour, ran in Likens, PA. Of 36 finishers in the 24-hour, Thomas Creighton defended his title, taking the overall win with 115 miles covered. Second overall in top women's spot, Candace Lockard was close behind with 101 miles to set a new women's 24-hour event record. Nice work. 15 in the 12-hour, the overall win and top woman on the day went to Becca Lindgren, also defending her 2020 victory with 63 miles covered. And the top male on the day and third overall was Andy Jones-Wilkins with 56 miles. Andy making quick work of PA trail races in his new relative backyard. Nice work getting out there, buddy. And the 6-hour overall win and top women's spot went to Erica Gaffney with 32 miles covered, a mile over the prior course record set in 2020. And the top men's spot was Matt Stripe, 7th overall with 24 miles covered. Two more in PA. One is a Blues Cruise 50K in Reading, PA. This is one put on by the Pagoda Pacers. The course is very runnable, circuit around Blue Marsh Lake or Reservoir with regard to technicality. And with only 3,000 feet of elevation gain over the 50K, it is pretty flowing and quick. Numbers are slightly down from their high recent years, but it's still a solid single distance race. They saw 256 finishers this year, which means I'm guessing they registered over 300. The win went to Ian Schouten in 4:06. For any of you who don't know Ian, wicked tough, whether it be some of his FKT endeavors up in the Adirondacks to just still flying in his 50s. In 4:06, top women's spot earned by Stephanie Kershner. Ched checked in with both Ian and Stephanie for clips. Ian wasn't able to get a clip over, but he did mention that this October he's celebrating 30 years sober, which he's pretty stoked about. He's done the race 4 or 5 times and mentioned liking the event as the course allows for both hard and fast running. And Stephanie was able to get a clip over, cueing us deeper into the Blues Cruise and her day out there. So take it, Stephanie.
Hi everyone, my name is Stephanie Kershner. I am from Hamburg, Pennsylvania. Last weekend I ran Blues Cruise 50K. It was my 3rd attempt at the run. Back in 2018 I ran it and just under 7 hours. Things did not go well. I ran it again in 2019 and it took an hour off my time, and I felt good about that. And running it this past weekend, there were tears, but they were definitely happy tears. Things went well. I had just run or raced Labor Pains, a 12-hour endurance run, and finished my 100K in just under 12 hours. That was the longest distance I've ever done. And this being half the distance, I really wanted to see how hard I could push. See what I could do, and I was able to get it down to 4 hours and 37 minutes. I placed first female and 4th overall. It was an awesome day. It was an awesome experience. The race itself is organized by the Pagoda Pacers. The Pagoda Pacers are a running group, almost one of the largest in Pennsylvania, with about 450 members. They welcome all fitness abilities, all fitness levels. It's just a great way to meet people who, have like interest. Going back to the race, the RDs were Dan Govern, Mike Yoder, and co-director Stefan Weiss. They did a great job with the race. Everything was very well organized. Everything from packet pickup in the morning, the race started on time, and awards were handed out upon finishing the race. The volunteers, the Pagoda Pacers, and others who were out there at those aid stations, they were fantastic. As I was running in, they were already asking me, what I needed, what I wanted, and they were there and ready for. They were waiting. They were there and ready. This year actually was interesting. It was a cupless race, so that was a concern of mine. Going into the race, I wasn't sure if there was going to be a holdup. They actually gave us a little collapsible plastic cup to refill if we needed it throughout the race. But again, everything just went so smoothly, and everyone was so willing to help and get you in and out as quickly as needed. Blues Cruise is run around Blue Marsh Lake. You do the entire perimeter of the lake. And it's actually a really great first 50K if you're interested. And I say that because it has a little bit of everything. You have some paved roads, you have some rolling fields, but you also have a little technical uphill and downhill on the ski slope, and give or take on your Garmin, the whole race itself is about 3,400 feet of elevation. So again, it's just a nice mixture of terrain. Blues is always held in the first weekend or on the first weekend of October, which you start to think the fall weather, but we know that we still have some warm days in October, and that was definitely the case this past weekend. It was cool in the morning. I was standing there, cold, ready to start, but I was very happy when I finished because those temperatures were rising and rising quickly. So that's always something to think about race day. Don't overdress. It is a great experience. If you're ever looking for, again, a first 50K, I highly recommend it. They also give out really cool swag. This year we got some gloves and we got a nice shirt as well as a Head Sweats hat that I can't wait to wear on my next run. So it's a wonderful experience. I've met a lot of people on the trails just running these races. Everyone is so willing to talk, share their experiences, help out when needed, and it's just an all-around great race. So if you're looking for a first race, definitely check out Blues Cruise. And if you see me out there, definitely say hello. It'd be great to meet you. Thanks.
All right, nice work, Stephanie. The Black Forest 100K in North Bend, PA. Black Forest uses a beautiful and rugged trail above the west side of Pine Creek. If the rugged trail and distance weren't enough, it, like Hellgate, starts at midnight, which adds a whole nother flavor. Granted, this is in the fall versus middle of December, but still, midnight start. Of 40 finishers, Aaron Clineman took his first Black Forest win in 13 hours, 17 minutes. And a shout out to second place finisher Tristan Baxendale, relatively fresh off of a Burley 200, as well as Virgil Crest 100-mile finish in the past couple months for both of those. So, and Tristan said I think he felt great. So, kudos to you, man. Wicked tough. Top women's finish on the day was earned by Julie Pentico. And then here to take us deeper into Black Forest are Aaron Clineman and Samantha Hurlbutt.
What's up, guys? Aaron here. This year's winner of the Black Forest Ultra 100K, which is a 64-mile race, right under 14,000 feet of climbing. It starts at midnight, no crew, no pacers, 5 aid stations. So it's pretty unique in the sense that it also has very strict cutoff times for most people. So it's 19 hours total, and it has a really high DNF rate. So just that alone kind of drew me to it. I had a 14-week training cycle going into this race, and before that though, I was sidelined with an injury for 7 months. So for 4 months, I just did strength training, and then 3 months, I did this thing called Operation Run But Don't Run. So I have a YouTube channel, Confidence in Chaos. Go check it out if you want to see anything I'm talking about right now. I did this project called Operation Run But Don't Run, where for 3 months, I was training for a 36-mile endurance event without running. So I did weighted vest hikes, I did heavy sled pulls, stair stepper, indoor spin, and squats, and just a whole bunch of unique strength stuff to get me ready for an endurance event without running at all. It had its limitations, and you could see that if you want on the YouTube channel. But after that, I wanted to do something more because I felt like, okay, the fire to run is back. The urge, the obsession to go test myself against Mother Nature was back. So I was like, well, what's the coolest, hardest event around? And I was like, Black Forest Ultra. And that was when I set the goal to go out and try to win and do my best at the Black Forest Ultra. And I even said it in a video 14 weeks ago that was my goal. And to actually actualize that is what I'm here to show. It's not about running. It's not about getting first place. It's about setting big goals and going after them consistently every day. And if we all did that, I have one rule in life. My rule in my life and in my business is to become the strongest version of yourself and then turn around and help others. All right, and I also firmly believe that if your goal doesn't end in a greater degree of love, you have a shitty goal and maybe want to reevaluate that. So getting first place is just a side effect. The goal was to find a deeper truth about myself, to really see how I measure up against hardship and obstacles. And for me, the best way to express that is an endurance event, because endurance means to endure. So I want to see what I'm made of by comparing myself against hard things. And that's how you get a perspective of who we are. And I truly believe that we don't know who we are until we're in the midst of self-suffering. And that's kind of the universal truth. And through that self-suffering, you come out a different person. And if you have a good intention and a clear objective, you can come out a better person. And if not, it might break you. So for me, it's important to teach people is the outcome is irrelevant, the cause is everything. So learning principles and living by principles and learning how to work hard and set goals and be disciplined is so much more important than what they may manifest. So if someone's studying really, really hard for a test, a spelling test, but they're just naturally not good at spelling, they fail the test, well, who cares about the outcome? Teach them and reward them for working hard, because that is transferable, and that is going to lead to not only a more productive life and more self-esteem and more confidence, but it's also going to lead to a better manifestation of the place we all live. So if we could if all of us just said, what can I do to make myself the best version of myself, and just focus on that, if we all did that right now, the whole world will change tomorrow. It's because we all think it's out here. It's not. It's intrinsic. And another thing, I'm really into philosophy, and I'm really into strength training and performance and all of those kind of endeavors. So my business is Confidence in Chaos, and I'm a performance, health, lifestyle, strength coach. So I just want to help people become the strongest versions of themselves. And it's cool because it's non-dogmatic, and every single person that comes here and leaves is better for it. Whether you're a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, an athlete, right? Strength is never weakness, and Mother Nature does not respect weakness. So our job is to put ourselves in as much order as we can so that she respects us and we can live a long, healthy, happy life. Maybe that's not what you guys were expecting for how I described the race, but this is the message I want to get across. That's why I was able to get first place, because I trusted in myself, I believed in myself, I trusted in nature, and I gave myself fully. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Sam Hurlbutt. I am from Jersey Shore, Pennsylvania. I am going to give you my take on the Black Forest Ultra. It is a 64-mile race. It's a really hard race. It's a race that will test your mental strength. It is 13,000 some odd feet of elevation. It's got a 19-hour cutoff. No crews, no pacers, no spectators like throughout the course. You have 5 aid stations where they have your drop bags. You have to carry a bunch of stuff with you. You have to carry a headlamp. Of course, you have to carry a headlamp. It's a midnight start. Extra batteries, emergency blanket, a hat or a buff, a coat, and your pack has to be able to carry so much water. I did the race last year, and actually it was going to be my one and done, but I decided kind of last minute that I was going to do it. I had done the Triple Crown, and when I finished Eastern States, we were all sitting around the campfire and we were talking about the blacklist. I didn't even know if it was like a thing. I wasn't interested. I wasn't going to do it. And about a week after Eastern States, I was mowing one day, and I was like, I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to sign up. Be kind of stupid not to, because if I ever do want to get blacklisted, you have to go through all those races again, and just to sign up for the races that you got to do to get the Triple Crown they're hard to get into anyway. I feel like they're 3 races that sell out pretty fast. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna sign up. So I signed up with just wanting to finish that race. I wasn't looking to break any records. I wasn't looking to PR. I wasn't looking to do anything but finish that race. It's actually a really neat race. If you DNF at the end of the race, he does a burning of the bibs of all the DNFs, which I think is pretty cool. So anyway, I had the race started. I had a really rough start. I fell a lot throughout the night. There was a group of us running together. It was me and my friend Ken Kremer, Ed Pry, and Lucas Kane. And my friend Ken carries this pack. He must carry, I don't even know what all he has in there, but the thing weighs 50 pounds. I will never make fun of him again, because at one point in time when I fell, I busted up my elbow pretty good. And we used his duct tape to cover it up. Anyway, got that all fixed up. And I stuck with those guys for a little while through the night. And then eventually I took off, went ahead of them a little ways. And got to the halfway point. It was about 33 miles slate run. It's the hill of difficulty, I think, is what the aid station's called. But there's a bunch of people there that I knew. Lee Arbogast was there, who cleaned up my elbow. Rhoda Smoker was there, and Becky Kozik were there, which was actually really cool because they both paced me for Eastern State. So just seeing their familiar faces was really good. Then Lee doctored up my elbow. Couldn't get anything to stick to it. So Rhoda had to run to her car and get some vet tape because we couldn't get it's whatever magic tape worked, whatever. Took off from there and got to the next aid station, and Becky and Rhoda and those guys were there again too. And they said Gilbert was right ahead of me, which is another guy that I know. So I was like kind of excited because like you spend a lot of time by yourself while you're out there in the woods. And if anybody knows me, I am a talker. So I was like super excited. So I like took off, wanted to catch up to Gilbert. So I caught up to Gilbert, and it was so nice to have somebody to talk to. And he made me feel really good because he was super, super whiny. He was complaining because he kept getting lightheaded. I figured he was getting lightheaded because all the whining he was doing. He was using up all of his oxygen. But I hung out with him for quite a while. Like I think I went ahead of him a little bit before we got to the 5th aid station. Him and another guy named Grant. Don't know Grant's last name. But anyway, took off from there. I finished the race, which was my only goal. It was really cool because then everybody that I was running with, they ended up coming in eventually. Gilbert came in, Ken Kremer came in, Lucas Kane came in, Ed came in. It was just great to see everybody finish. And so it's a really hard race. A lot of times when people do it twice, it's because they DNF'd the first time. But I was happy with my results, with how I did. Next up, I am scheduled to do Rim to River. It's in West Virginia. It's a 100-miler. It's in November. But I found out my daughter has cheer competition. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. So I'm sure I'll figure it out. I gotta figure out what's right, what's not right. But I'll figure it out. And thanks.
All right, thanks so much, Aaron and Samantha. And stay tuned in a coming week to also get another clip from Aaron on his training business. Look forward to hearing about that. In Virginia, we had 2 go down. Joe's 11-hour night run in the Hamptons in Hampton, Virginia. Of 29 finishers in the 11-hour event, Jason Hollenbeck accrued the most mileage for the win with 59.6. Top women's finish on the day, finishing in a tie for second overall, was Jillian Breitweiser. Not sure if it was with her husband or brother, with 50.8 miles. And the Thoroughbred Races 50K in La Crosse, Virginia, put on by the Virginia Adventures. It's a 10K, 30K, 50K, though I didn't see 10K results, so I'm not sure about that one. Used the nice and fast-looking grass gravel rail trail, run an out-and-back format. In the 30K of 13, Juan Gonzalez took the win in 2 hours, 22 minutes, with top women's spot going to Ruth Hannon in 3:13, and establishing a new course record in the process. So great job, Ruth. In the 50K of 10 finishers, Jack Dayton took the win in 4:48, with top women's finish earned by Anna Davenport in 6:17. And then each week, if one catches my eye, I will also plug one that will be on the national and international front, particularly if the races seem like bucket lists or just gorgeous courses. One that ran this past weekend out in Palisades, Tahoe in California is the Broken Arrow Sky Race, one put on by Solomon, and one, while it existed, was on the U.S. Skyrunning Series, of which one of my events, Whiteface, was on in that mix as well. They are still going. And sky style is defined by direct lines, steep ascents and descents, and a healthy amount of elevation gain and loss. And Broken Arrow checks those boxes. And here to take us deeper into this beautiful mountain race is 10th female on the day and first women's East Coaster, Rachel Spaulding.
Hey, my name is Rachel Spaulding. I live in Blacksburg, Virginia, and last weekend I raced in the Broken Arrow Sky Race, which was in Lake Tahoe, California. A sky race is just basically a unique mountain running trail race. You know, you do a lot of rock scrambling, a lot of vertical gain. The trail is a mix of everything between rocks, roots, single track, and then also some smooth fire roads, but a lot of steep uphills and a lot of steep downhills. So it just makes for an overall challenging day. The race starts in the Olympic Village, and it's a 2-loop course, so each loop is about 14.5 miles, coming in at 4,500 feet of elevation gain. A lot of that elevation gain is in the first 8 miles or so, but there's also some good steady climbs in the second half of that loop as well. So another unique factor of the race, especially for an East Coaster, is that the race starts at about 6,500 feet at altitude, and then goes up to 10,000 feet. So a little bit harder for me to push as much as like I'm used to pushing, especially on some of the climbs going up to that high altitude. So the race draws a lot of big names, probably because there's a big cash purse, but then also there's a lot of people that are in the mid pack and the back pack. But that's what's really unique about this race, is the race director, who is just trying to cultivate this environment where everyone comes together and everyone can do this sport in this challenging course. So he's extraordinary. So I definitely recommend checking out this race. He definitely has a good thing going. I wouldn't say he's like a David Horton, but he has a good thing going. So yeah, my race specifically, it was hard. I definitely struggled a little bit with the altitude more than I wanted to think I would. I was probably a little bit naive going into the race, but I think that helped my head game, because at the end of the day, I can't control that we're going up to 10,000 feet. All I could control was, the things to help me cope with that, which would be like my fueling and just my headspace in general, and knowing that I was going to eventually feel better. So what was cool for me is that I got to line up with, some of the best in the sport, like Hillary Allen or Sandy Nipmuck. Had a little fangirling moments, but it was a unique experience. The climbs were usually I'm a pretty good climber and power hiker. It was just hard for me to push to a level that I'm used to being at because of the altitude. So I kind of got slowed down there a little bit. But other than that, I moved pretty well. Stayed in a good headspace. I feel like the last year I've been working on my overall just confidence going into a race and feeling like I belong, being on a start line with some fast women. So I was proud of myself for that. I was the 10th female, and I'd say about, 6 of the 9 other women that were ahead of me are, sponsored and professional, been doing the sport a little bit longer. So I think I have a lot to learn to compete with a group like that, but it was a good experience, and I'm really glad I put myself in that mix. The next couple races I'm doing are a little bit more local, so I'll have my Virginia crew, which will be nice. I'm planning on doing, hopefully, as long as my recovery goes well, I'm going to do Mount Masochist 50K, but my real focus is Hellgate 100K, so also known as the cult classic. You do that race once, you pretty much just get sucked in. So that's where my focus is now.
So great job, Rachel. I continue to look to see how you continue to progress in the trail and ultra world. Wicked tough, wicked fast. So thanks for getting that clip in, and nice work. All right, some events upcoming this weekend. In Connecticut, Centurion 24-hour in Stratford, Connecticut. In Maryland, Rick O'Donnell Memorial 5.22 mile trail run and ultra challenge 8-hour. In Maine, the Shawnee Peak Ultra Challenge in Bridgeton, Maine. A ridiculous amount of gain for a timed event. Looking forward to hearing how that one shakes out. The Big Brad Ultras 50K 50 mile in Pownell, Maine. In New Hampshire, the Midstate Massive Ultras Trail 30, 50, 100 miler based out of New Ipswich. In New Jersey, the New Jersey Trail Series 1 day in Augusta. In New York, the Tamarack Big Beast 8-hour in Colden. And the Tesla Hertz runs 50K, 50 mile, 100K, 100 mile in Rocky Point, New York. I think their entrants are way up this year. So great job to Vinny and Nicole and the Tesla Hertz crew. Good growth. And in PA, the Fanny Pack 50K in Ohio Pile, PA, and the Green Monster Trail Challenge in 50K in Wellsboro. Green Monster, a very well-reviewed event, and I think a lot of people look forward to that each year in the, for sure, that Roxylvania area. In Virginia, the High Bridge Ultra 50K in Pamplin, Virginia. And in Vermont, the Devil's Den 24-hour Ultra in Bradford, Vermont. So that's what we're shaking and what is coming up. As always, I appreciate all of you who support us by liking this video, liking this channel, going one step further to post it on any trail groups that you may be associated with on social media, taking the time to just post it in your own feed so that maybe other people catch it. And then to all of you who weigh in with clips, whether I reach out to you or you reach out to me preemptively, very much appreciated. One thing I mentioned last week or the week before was, actually maybe I just plugged my own Facebook page. If any of you out there have any cool animal encounter experiences in all of your years of trail running, I'd like to start putting together or crewing some videos on those to put out there. I think they're fun stories to hear about, and it would be fun to share. So if you have any fun animal encounter stories or might know a friend who might, reach out to me or have them reach out to me, and we'll start pulling those in. All right, so that's what I got for this week. I hope you all have fun weekends on deck, and I will talk to you around this time next week. Till then, see ya!